Hi there. This one doesn't require a lengthy explanation. Suffice to say, I was looking for something to serve as a dessert after the corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day, and I happened to stumble across this recipe. One look at this and I knew this looks dangerous. Decadently dangerous, and I have to make it. What's more, it requires the use of a mixer, and because the batter has to be beaten until it's very light. So I get to show off my mixer, and we get to watch a recipe for a chocolate cake that has to be seen to be believed.
The consistency of this cake is different from your typical chocolate cake. With a regular cake, we grease and flour the pan to keep it from sticking. Here, it's a given that this cake simply will stick, and we'll need a knife to cut it out. So, we cut a circle of parchment paper and place it at the bottom of the pan. That way, the cake will stick to the parchment instead of the pan itself. I like baking in cast iron because the heavy metal helps to bake the cake more thoroughly than a glass dish or thin metal pan. This is a vintage cast iron skillet that dates back to the year 1905. Next, we separate 4 eggs because we'll be beating the egg whites into a meringue. Mix together flour and baking soda. And finally, before mixing it all together, we melt about 12 ounces of bitter chocolate. This needs to be bitter chocolate, not semi-sweet or milk chocolate. We'll be mixing in the sweeteners separately. At this point, we can preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's time to start mixing the wet ingredients. We begin by creaming together softened butter and sugar until it's a fluffy paste. Add our egg yolks, one at a time. Now we add our dry ingredients, namely the mixed flour and baking soda. Now for some real flavor. 1/3 of a cup of whiskey, and a tablespoon of vanilla. Mix in the melted chocolate and blend it all together. But that's only half the batter. Next, we need to use a second bowl and beat the egg whites at high speed for several minutes. Check to make sure the egg whites are solid enough to form peaks that look like this. Now, we slowly add the remaining sugar and continue beating the mixture until it's shiny and stiff. Add the egg whites to the batter and mix it all together. Now we're ready to add it to our pan. And finally, we have this. Once the cake is done, we can prepare to remove it from the pan. Run a knife around the edge of the pan to loosen the cake, then invert it onto the serving platter. Let the cake settle and cool for at least an hour, and then it's ready to serve. You'll find the taste of this cake is very rich and very dark. It's a very light cake, but the strong taste means you'll only need a small piece. You'll taste the whiskey along with the chocolate, but the alcohol evaporates when it bakes. And if you don't like the taste of whiskey, of course, you could substitute some of your favorite liquor, such as brandy or rum or even wine. But as a rich dessert to serve after a holiday dinner, or at any other time of the year, this is a cake you won't soon forget. I know I won't. Thank you for watching.